musicians have sang at it, somebody will come to help you, will come to fill in the gap. So this is the danger. Okay. Then there's also communication challenges. No effective communication, or in this one, like communication is in different ways. We all know that. You can communicate verbally, you can also communicate non-verbal, yes. So the non-verbal one is the crucial part where when it comes to the husband and wife being far apart, because there are just certain things that I can't explain in words. I can't express myself in words. Like sometimes, even when we are chatting with couples, I would say, can you tell me, how can you experience a hug through a phone call? Because sometimes I would tell him, I just want to, and he would say, okay, I'm hugging you. Then I said, no, that is not helping. It just has to be the touch, you know? So there are certain things that even electronic has failed to solve. Then, pressure, internal and external. What do I mean by this? Internal pressure is where we are talking about husband and wife, but we should not forget about the children. You know, when you are apart, one of the spouses has to be with the children, and that one also it can bring up a very big challenge where for us, both of us had a taste of this. The first one was when I had to go for my master's. I left him here in Zambia, and I went to Europe by then we had 2 children, and they were both under 5. My daughter was 1 year, 8 months, and I went, and the pressure, internal pressure, was how this man could take care of these little children. He had to be father and mother to them. And you know, children, you can't explain to them that, no, this mommy can't be here because studies, So it was not easy. This is on the internal, this was what I mean by internal issues from within. Now the external, where I remember he was under so much pressure by friends, relatives. They mocked him, criticized him. How do you let your wife go away? Firsti, abasungu bakachankwira. Takabwele. You are lusa chapwa. And then she will be more educated than you. You have lost. The children are small, blah, 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 blah. So there was that pressure. But thank God we managed. When it was his turn to go, I went for a shorter time. But when it was his turn to go, he went for 4 years. Again, I faced that external pressure and said, no, China, he will just come with a Chinese woman. Hello to my Chinese. Drama gymnastics. You have lost. You will not see him. You have lost. How can you? And sometimes, you know, external, they make you start imagining things that are not there. But thank God, here we are. These are some of the issues. So, of course, we are looking at what are the dangers of course, there's the spiritual aspect. I think the clergy would explain better to us. So one thing we also acknowledge, very, very important, is that one essential part of marriage that the Catholic Church emphasizes is the nature of shared physical life in a marriage. But then, like I said, this issue of living separately, it's something we cannot run away from. In fact, I've just remembered as I'm sharing, when I said some people have strongly defended this stance. I don't know how many of you have experienced this, but nowadays it is, I would say, voluntary, where a wife would say, for this marriage to survive, we have to stay in different places. We were dealing with one couple 2 2 years ago when the wife just said, in fact, they had to agree. But no, if you continue forcing us to live under one roof, one of us will die. Why? Because they were always fighting, and I'll tell you some of the reasons. Remember my conflicts, natural less conflicts. In the morning, as the wife is preparing to go to work, the husband would always criticize what she was wearing. He has to decide, why are you putting on that dress? Why not the other? Why this makeup? Why did you knocked off at this time? Why are you arriving? So every time they were arguing, so and fighting actually, physical. So until they said, we have to be in, and they have been 2 years living in different, not different towns, but within Lusaka, but in different places. I bear witness. And today I can assure you, they both look bright. They look brighter. They look brighter, unlike the way they were before. Then, but on the other hand, we were counseling a younger couple just 3 weeks ago. The man got a job in Australia, and the wife has remained. When he came for holiday, she just called me, Mom, if you're not coming, Tamleisapa, we are divorcing. What is it? No, when we spoke to them, he always delays in answering my calls. Hello, last time, all along, when we went to Ali Umfanati, we'll be doing video call. So this time when I started calling, he doesn't switch on the lights. He answers in the dark. Why? I tell him, switch on the light because I want to see the room. And he says, no, I am tired. I just came from work. So, and those are issues. What is he hiding? So these are some of the issues. So now I said we have 4 tasks. So I'm moving to the second one. I'm done with issues of husband and wife living in different cities. And like I said, I hope about the end of this presentation, we'll come up with a conclusion. What is your advice in saving families or couples, in saving marriage? Poor communication. Of course, my husband and I believe that the first communication is with our God. The marriage can only survive when you are able to communicate with God. Our spouses truly communicating in most marriages. I remember very well years back when we were having our marriage lessons, even when we counsel young couples, we emphasize that one of the pillars of marriage is communication. So now the question is, today, are marriages or are couples really communicating? Are you expressing yourself properly or expecting your spouse to know? As you grow older, she knows what I like, or he knows what I like, so there's no need. Should I be repeating myself? So you give way to assuming or assumptions. So this is why I said, are we? Now, according to, from our experience and our findings, reality today is that communication in most marriages is characterized by unexpressed expressions, bottling up emotions, taking a spouse for granted, assumptions about what may be going on, not asking for feedback, silent treatment, picture no sound, and many more. Then there's also lack of appreciation for authentic or sincere communication. Unexpressed expressions, like I said, that certain things you can't express them on the phone. It has to be demonstrated or it has to be expressed, but sometimes these expressions are not given. Like, um, where I would give an example in time of like when somebody is going through, you know, a down moment. It could be the man, the husband or wife, and you cannot, the other party cannot understand until you express it, you bring it out. You can't, my husband cannot expect me to guess that this is the way he was feeling. I remember there were times, the time he lost, they were born, the three of them, just men, then he lost both, the two brothers in a space of 2 years. So he was broken. And you know, with men, they rarely express themselves. So to them, when somebody is okay, but thankfully, after some time, he brought it out, said, you know, just give me some time alone. Let me face, and I gave him that time. But without that, I wasn't going to understand how to relate with him. So this is important. Bottling up emotions. You know, this also, we have noticed that sometimes the way my husband or a spouse reacts or gives an understanding attention matters. It helps one to bring out their emotions. If there was a time, the same couple I was talking about who said, if we don't separate, we don't live in different homes or houses, one of us would die. So there was a time she said, after a long argument, she broke down. She started crying. Then the husband said, but is this something you can cry about? And instead, she was expecting him to at least to give her a shoulder to cry on. But instead of that, he mocked her. So next, what do you expect her to do next? Tomorrow, if she goes to the office and she shares with the manager or and gives her a shoulder, what will happen? So emotions are bottling up, they are not communicated. Then taking a spouse for granted. This is on both sides. It could be there are times that we take one another for granted, which is very unfair. Somebody may be good, the husband may be very, very good, but I shouldn't overdo things. Tommy likes just be helping out. If we are just the two of us, even when the children are there, he would tell them, okay, I will help with the cooking, the cleaning of the plates here and there. And there are times I would say, I would just at least. And I would want him just to continue, you know, that. But then it comes back to me and said, this is not good. This is going overboard. Or sometimes when you communicate, you make this mistake. He forgives me. If I repeat the same, his patience has been taken for granted. Or it may be the other way around. So we are saying in communication, it is important to consider, to be considerate, not to take the other person for granted. Or this one, she will not mind. It's okay. So this affects communication. Then assumptions about what may be going on. This also we have agreed from the time we married. Don't expect me to assume. If it is black, tell me it is this. I may see that this is, but you have to tell me. Otherwise, a lot of mistakes are made if we leave room to assuming. Of course, getting feedback, I think some of these are quite straightforward. Picture, no sound. This is something that happens in every home. I think where you don't want to talk to each other. I've heard of times where you just use notes or messages because you don't want to talk. Food is is on the table. If he knocks off late, I prepare, I go to bed. I don't want to talk to him. I just leave a note. You can warm the food in the microwave and all. Or even if he's there, he will, he may be talking to me, but I don't want to. Just actions would tell him that I don't want. So picture, no sound, this also happened, but it is not supposed to be promoted. Then the issue on lack of appreciation for authentic or sincere communication. One of the young people, another couple, the girl, we were talking about communication. So the husband complained that she doesn't tell me the truth. She's always, fabricating stories. So at one point she said, you know why I decided to start doing this? It is because of the way he treats me. There was a time she shared with him about some case at work, how the supervisor treated her, blah, blah, blah. Of course, as a husband or as a spouse, you should be best of friends, not so. So she was sharing the experience. He listened. She thought he had listened and he even used a few words to console her. A few days later, the same words were used to attack her. That's why you are loose. That's why in Akunchito, people treat you like this. So she was saying,